A 6-1 victory against Caldecott Town this past weekend. Shauna, you must have been pleased with the result come the final whistle.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important part there is it's come the final whistle, because at half-time we certainly weren't happy with the way that we were performing, and as a collective it's one that we had to speak quite openly about at half-time, that it wasn't up to standard, and it's probably the first time that we've really performed way below the expectation that we have on these players. So the way that they performed in the second half is what we are happy about, and I'm glad that the girls were able to turn that around and really do it for themselves, because it's never nice as a manager to go in at half time and have to have stern words with your players when they're not performing. But I think it was them that got around each other collectively and made sure that they came out fighting and ultimately got the win, which was what was most important.
It's been a good couple of weeks, in fact, as prior to last weekend we also won 1-0 against Aberystwyth Town to keep up the pressure at the top of the Gennaro Adran Premier table. So it's important that we continue to fight for silverware on multiple fronts.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that one, it's probably, now that I've had a little bit longer to reflect on it, in the moment it was very frustrated with the performance that we were creating multiple chances, but we just couldn't score. But when you look at the difference between that game and the one the week before against Barry, when we probably just lacked composure and lacked that competitive edge, where against Aber, I could have betted anyone on that pitch could have scored, and they wanted to score and get the win. So the way that we went about it and still managed to find a way is what was most pleasing about that game. And I think obviously looking at last week's result as well, we're back to scoring more than just the one goal now, and we're looking at different people to create those opportunities and finish them. We're not just relying on one person, so it puts us in a good position moving forward.
Well, there's more cup action on the way this weekend, this time in the Bute Energy Welsh Cup, and we're on the road again visiting Llandudno, and a chance there to make it 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, and we're preparing that this one's going to be a tough challenge. Obviously, they've played Aberystwyth recently, but they've always been known as being quite a strong Tier 2 side. So for us, it's not something that we're going to just breeze past. It's going to be just as challenging as other games have been in previous weeks. So this week's just about focusing on ourselves and making sure we're as best prepared as we can be, and just really focusing on ourselves to make sure we keep putting those wrongs right week in, week out.
Llandudno, of course, are top of the Gennaro Adran North, but what do you know and how much have you been able to find out about our opponents this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's always easier when you do get footage that you can go away and watch, and we've managed to watch a couple of games now on them. So in that sense, we are prepared for that. Obviously, they can come and change their game plan because they're playing an Adran Prem team, and they might do, they might not. So I think for us, it's just to really focus on ourselves, and whilst as staff we've spent time analysing what the opposition do, internally it's more just to focus on us and make sure we're playing to the best of our ability, because I think the first 45 minutes at the weekend showed that we were below that standard. So we just want to make sure we don't have a repeat of that, really.
We reached the semi-final of this competition last year, suffering a disappointing 1-0 defeat. Do you think that will serve as any sort of motivation for the squad to not put themselves in that position again?
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as we have moved on from last season, what we were able to do last year, especially in the cup runs, was really impressive, and we need to make sure that we're matching that this year, if not going one further. So anything below that really would probably be seen as a bit of a failure for us, and we've made that clear since day one in pre-season that of course we'd love silverware, but we need to make sure that we're doing one better than what we were able to do last year, and that's always been our drive so far. So it's one that we speak about regularly, and it's one that in both cups we just want to keep progressing through.
Chantel Tia's unbelievable season continues, another Team of the Week selection this time around, and must be now in contention to be one of the players of the season so far.
Yeah, Shan's been outstanding. Obviously, I worked with her for 12 months last year, and she was just as threatening and dangerous then, but I think the most important thing for her this year is how she's actually converting her chances. Last year, we saw how creative she was and how dangerous she was when she's driving with the ball or she's receiving it in the final third. But this year, it's the actual conversion rate, which is obviously what's putting her in the team of the week in, week out, because she's creating chances, she's taking them, left foot, right foot, you name it, she's popping up in the right spaces. And we're really proud to have someone like that in this team, because we probably feel a little bit lost without her right now. And not only that, but the person that she is as well off the pitch, she keeps everyone going. She's like a class clown in this team. So it's a credit to her, and we're just glad and really happy that we've got someone like that around us.
As we make the trip to Llandudno on Sunday, what's the general injury situation looking like within the squad?
Yeah, we're probably in a position where we're still looking after one or two players, where they're starting to come back to full fitness now, but we're probably just looking ahead to the future fixtures that we might just continue to rest for and make sure that they're 100% ready for them. But as well, it gives key opportunities for other players to step in and take that opportunity and try and keep that shirt then when we look a week ahead and we've got Wrexham. So it's not something that we're worried about, but it's one that we've decided as staff to closely monitor and make sure that we're still in just as strong position as we are, whether we rest people or not.
And then just finally, out of sight and certainly not out of mind, though, what about some of the longer term injuries? We've got obviously Mackenzie Hayden-Jones, Ella Hartley. How close are we to seeing them back on the pitch?
Yeah, they're both back on pitch at the moment. At the moment, with Fliss doing rehab sessions. The progress that they've made in the last 4 weeks has been outstanding. So, whilst we don't have an end date just yet with where they're up to, what's been most pleasing is actually seeing them in their football boots on the pitch, in their kit and things like that, which for them has been a long time coming. And it's a credit to Fliss as well for the hard work that she does behind the scenes to get these girls as best prepared as they can be. So hopefully soon.